7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
You'll never have the sacred stone.
Oh, this you crazy mother.
Hey, welcome to the Geek Retreat, episode number 13.
Ooh,
I'm your host, Steven, and I'm here again with Mick.
What's up?
And Jason.
I'm not locked inside of here with you. You're locked inside of here with me.
I don't know if I know that one.
It sounds hecka familiar.
It does sound familiar. It's a superhero movie.
Oh, okay.
Is it... What? I don't know.
You're close. Go on.
Let's see. I'm not locked inside of here with you. You're locked inside here with me. Let's go. I don't know.
I don't got to think.
Is it Marvel?
Right
Is it
now.
Marvel?
No, it's neither.
Yeah. See, I'm way out then. Is it like the Punisher? That's the only thing I can think of.
No, he's Marvel.
Oh yeah.
But it's Watchmen. Rorschach said it. He was put in prison, and all those guys trying to come after him because he helped put them there. And he's like, remember, I'm not locked inside here with you. You're locked inside here with me.
I got you. Yeah, no, I didn't get that. I don't think I've seen Watchmen.
Watchmen was good.
Is it okay? There's a new movie out called Watchmen. Is that the same thing?
There was a series. Was it HBO?
Something like that. Yeah.
Series.
Yeah. It is. Maybe I'll watch that.
I didn't watch the series.
I meant to watch it, but I don't have HBO, so I was never able to watch it. So I always wanted to check it out.
Yeah.
It's one of the premium channels.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's HBO because I saw it and I was like, maybe I'll watch that. You remember the show hole, or what's it called? They're like, it's like the hole after you finish a series. There's like, you don't know what to do next. And there was some commercial one time like, you're in the show hole, or I can't remember what it's called, but they call it something hole, and it's like the space you're in after you finish a series and you're trying to look for another series, like, oh, do I want to get into something the same thing or a little bit different? And it was when I was looking. A bit of
strange.
Yeah, it was when we were done. It was when we were finished with our MCU run through, and we were like, okay, we finished that. Now what? And then I got into My Hero Academia, and then I started watching Star Wars again. So
you got to do the same thing with DC. You got to watch all the DC movies.
All the 50 Batman and Superman movies, and then the one.
I know, right?
Hey, I saw Aquaman, and that one was really good.
Right? Yeah, it wasn't out. Yeah,
it was better than I gave it credit, and I take it back. Yeah. So
you're going to take a lot of stuff back on this.
I know. I usually do that. I'm the kind of person who's like, it's okay if you're doing it wrong as long as you're doing it 100%. So like, even if I'm wrong, I'm just going in on it, and I don't care.
Okay.
But let's go ahead and get into something because we talked about passion last week.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I showed a lot of passion last week. But we have an update. Mick,
I watched
you
it.
Watched Rise of Skywalker.
I did watch it. And
what do you think?
My verdict here.
All right, let's hear it.
Are you still all for it?
It was visually pleasing.
Right.
Yes.
But it was a shit movie. The reason why I'm saying exactly what you guys were saying. It was almost like they were never in peril. Okay. There was a point they couldn't like surprise you with anything. Yeah. Like okay, for example, when the Wookiee, what's his name? I can't think of his name. Chewbacca. When Chewie died, well, supposedly died.
Yeah.
They could have showed him like come back into the movie like, oh, what? No.
Yeah.
Right after that scene, they showed that he wasn't in that aircraft. He was in a different aircraft, or they transport. They didn't surprise you. You know what I mean? At that moment, they could have really, because Chewie's like a memorable character.
For sure.
Through the whole series.
For sure.
Right.
Yeah.
You have this intimate moment with that death. You're like, oh, really? And then they show him like 2 seconds, literally 2 seconds later, he's alive. You're like,
well, it's even it's
don't
even
make
worse.
sense.
It's even worse than that because they reveal it to us. And they still don't know.
Right.
So it's like you could have
Right.
never. Why did
like
we need to see that
big
scene?
reveal for
Right.
Why
them.
did we
It's
need
like,
that
we
scene?
No, they shouldn't even kept it in there. They
should have taken it out and then revealed it with. Let us go
Right.
on that journey with
when they find out
our characters.
Yes,
when they find out,
exactly.
and Rey's like, "Oh, Chewie's still alive," and like that would be bigger. I mean,
were like, this happened, then this happened, then this
Yeah.
happened, then this happened, then this happened. There wasn't like, there's
Yeah.
no like, you know.
Yep.
That's
No
how
stakes.
a simple
There's
paragraph
no
is
stakes
written.
at
in
all.
the movie.
You know what I
There's
mean? There's
no
a
stakes.
climax,
Yep.
and then there's the end.
Yeah, exactly.
There's a build up, a climax, and then the end.
Yeah.
And they did not do that with the whole movie. The whole movie, they tried to. And I love movies, you know what I mean?
Yep.
And I try to nitpick. I try not to nitpick anything. But with this movie, there's a lot, like they're just trying to throw so much. They wanted to keep it action packed, but they overdid it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you're just on this like action packed movies are supposed to be like a roller coaster. You know what I mean?
Right.
You're supposed to go calm and then whoa, what the heck? And then calm and then whoa, what the heck?
Yeah.
This was just like, whoa, okay, it's just gonna keep action. You know what I mean? It's like there's no build up for nothing.
Yeah, there's zero character development. Like the slow parts, that's where you're like getting into like
I wouldn't say zero.
We've got this huge war coming up. Like, let's get to know each other a little bit more. That's what those parts are for. And they just never give that. Anytime the movie slows down, it's only to build up a new plot point. That's all it is. It's like slow down and then we're gonna introduce a new plot here and then we'll ramp it back up to full speed.
They could have easily separated this into like 3 or 4 movies.
Mm-hmm.
It was like they crammed too much information in one movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel you. This I feel like
in any movie there's a quest.
Yeah.
You fulfill it and you go in, and they were doing like 100 things. But anyways, go ahead.
Well, I'm just gonna ask you a question, Mick, because sometimes like someone opened your eyes to things. Like, do you think like these things were blatantly obvious because like it was already mentioned by us, and so you kind of went in like seeing like if you saw what we saw, or do you think that you would have caught the flaws either way?
I'm gonna speak honestly, and since I already heard you guys speak into it, it already kind of tilts me in a certain way. Just like with any movie, you hear people, "Oh, that movie was so good, you gotta go see
you're
it."
going
and then,
with like super high expectations,
right? But I guess it could have affected my outlook on the movie, but
we ruined the movie for him.
we did it.
No, I did like the one before this.
Yeah,
I like that one. This one was not good because you guys didn't like the other one either. You didn't like the whole last trilogy. You guys didn't like it, but I liked
Force
Awakens.
I liked Force Awakens.
Right. Okay.
Because even in Force Awakens, I was thinking when you were talking about like no stakes. Think about the way like Han Solo died. Mm-hmm. Nobody expected that.
Right.
Nobody was prepared for that.
Right.
And it's just like that was such a great like death.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
It's like below camera. All you see is his reaction. You think he's gonna turn to the light side and like
right.
It's crazy.
It was kind of cool, but I still had a problem with it just because you got Han and Luke in the same movie and you never get a chance, and like the person who was closest with him never got to be there for his final moments and stuff like that. I mean, I guess that's nostalgic moments and for fan service, but I would have liked to seen it.
Moment. Yeah.
And I didn't get to see it, and they took him out. I thought not too soon. I guess it was an appropriate time, but it just
right.
I don't know. I was kind of on the fence about how it was done, but it is what it is. I mean, I wasn't that upset about it. But
I mean, all the other movies, within this new trilogy or whatever, they're slowly building Rey up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But in this last one, I feel like she was like super OP.
Yeah.
Like, for no reason. And it was unexplained. It didn't make sense because, back in the old movies, right? The originals. Yeah. When Skywalker, it took him years to gain these, abilities and learn how the Force works and all that stuff. And you see at the very beginning when she's training. Remember when Rey's training?
She's just like, it's like a flash dance montage.
remember, if she's at this level where she could levitate and have rocks floating around her, she could stop a ship from going out to orbit. You know what I mean? You would think that what Skywalker could do in the old movies. Remember that Jedi tool where it's like an orb and it shoots like lasers at you.
Yeah.
To train
the training tool.
Train the Force. It was fucking her up. It was shooting her.
Yeah.
It was hitting her. You would think it wouldn't hit her at all because her abilities are at that level, but it was hitting her. I mean, there's a lot of things where you're like, okay.
I didn't think about that.
Yeah, no,
and that's like the basic tool for
it's
Jedi,
like
the number one. Yeah,
I mean, like Luke uses that on the ship when he's flying out to. Where's he flying to? He's like, it's his first. It's when he's flying to the Death Star, I think, right? When they meet, right before him and Obi-Wan, before Vader and Obi-Wan meet for the first time.
Right.
And like that's the very first tool he uses, and Rey is like getting shot by it. I mean, I guess it was like turned up to expert mode, but
right. And like, then I can understand how powerful Palpatine is, right? And how he stopped all those ships right when he gained sucked the force out of those guys, their life force, and he was able to stop all them. I understand how strong Palpatine is, and I'm like, yeah, that's believable because Palpatine is Palpatine.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. But for her to just straight up match his skill like
that right away,
tripping.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, you might be her
granddaughter
and stuff, but
grandpa.
There's no way in the amount of time they went through this that she could have reached that. Because I mean, when you go to like was it Darth Plagueis who was Palpatine's, just for example, Palpatine's master? It took him years to learn manipulation through the Force.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Which he ultimately I mean, you looked at all these Sith Lords and Jedis. It took him years and years to get to the strength and research to be able to do what they could do. And she's just automatically able to do.
Yeah.
Just do all these things. It's like it really is unbelievable.
Yeah, I mean, you look at Palpatine and Vader's relationship, and like Vader spent probably half of his life under the apprenticeship of Palpatine.
Right.
And you know what I mean? And he's still like
now I can't
was
remember
undermatched.
I can't remember in the original lore. Is it Darth Plagueis or is it Palpatine that is his father? I know he was created by basically there's Darth Vader's Anakin's mom was a virgin or whatever, and she, I guess
she gets
one of them used the Force to actually conceive, make Anakin alive. I think it's Palpatine, but I heard on the other side that it was actually Darth Plagueis that did that. So I don't know which one is his actual father. Like they didn't actually conceive like you would naturally, but they used the Force to create Anakin.
Oh yeah, I guess in lore he was conceived by midichlorians. Right,
but was it Palpatine that? Who's his father?
Give me a second to look it up. I want to get it right.
Right. Anyway.
Yeah. I'm glad that you liked it. I'm glad that you saw like what we, were saying and like could agree with us though.
I think if they would have slowed it down a little bit and took their time with the movie and didn't really try to shove a whole bunch of information in it, it would have been easier for them to, surprise you a little bit. But the whole movie, I wasn't surprised. You know what I mean? I could, if I'm going to defend it, I mean, there's things I could say, but it's really hard to defend it. It really is. Like I remember you were talking about like the quicksand and stuff like that, where they, they fall into the cave. I can understand that because it was a certain animal, and maybe that's its trap. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's how it gets its food and stuff. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Right.
So it
Yeah.
falls through.
You could create like a theory in your head that works with it
Right,
and
but
those kind of things. Okay.
it
So
was cheesy.
yeah. So the question is, was Anakin created by Sith experiments? In Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith, Palpatine tells Anakin about Darth Plagueis, a Sith who learned to manipulate the Force to create life. His tale implies that Darth Plagueis manipulated the midichlorians to create Anakin, and this is a belief more explicitly embraced by later Sith lords. There is, however, a fan theory, which is not part of the official Star Wars canon, that Darth Plagueis was not successful, and the midichlorians resented this attempt to use the Force for this purpose. In this non-canon theory, the midichlorians retaliated by creating Anakin for the purpose of ultimately defeating the Sith. So, because Anakin was like the chosen one, and so they think that the fans think that he was created because it was like the Force was like punishing Darth Plagueis for using a manipulation of it.
Right.
So they wanted to bring back the
Darth
balance.
Plagueis is his.
But he's the one. He's in official canon. Yes, he's the one that they believe created Anakin to bring the Force.
Oh wow!
I didn't know that. That's cool.
Brand new information for me.
See, that shows you how strong Darth Vader was because he was born of the Force.
Well, and he knew that. I mean, that's what Qui-Gon Jinn tells him in the very beginning. He's like, you have an unusually high amount of, power. But it could have gone either way. He had the choice to go either way with it.
Right.
To go to the light side or go to the dark side.
Right.
And we know his choice. So I've been watching it. I posted on the Facebook page. I was on Reddit the other day, and I can't find the link, and I want to link it. But somebody created a supercut. It's a 4-hour long supercut of the Clone Wars animated series, and it leads into the Revenge of the Sith episode 3. It's like a 4-hour long cut, and it's awesome.
You watch the whole thing?
I haven't watched the whole. I'm like halfway through right now, but it's really good because it talks about, because in the Old Republic, the clone troopers were with the Jedis, and then like Order 66 happens. So there's Ashoka. Is that her name? I think it is. I always get it. I don't know if it's Arashoka or Ashoka, but she's she's Anakin's Padawan in or his apprentice in the Clone Wars animated series.
Okay.
So she gets taken on, and there's huge stories about it. It's really good. But the beginning of Revenge of the Sith takes place on Mandalore. It's the Battle of Mandalore. Well, the Clone Wars animated series goes all the way up to that battle. And so they cut this to where it kind of like shows them starting the battle, and then it cuts in between the animated series and the live series of like the clone troopers and Ashoka attack the Mandalore base, and then it cuts out into space to the opening of Revenge of the Sith, and it's like them, Anakin and Obi-Wan like flying through and like killing, and then it shows them crashing on, and then it cuts back to the animated. It's really good. It's really well done. The guy who did it is awesome. Okay, that's right. So hold on real fast. She had to get a charger. We'll cut that out. So anyway, it's just really well done, and I'm having a super fun time watching it. It's just a 4-hour sit through on one take is really hard.
That's
trying to
4 hours.
to get time.
Dedication there.
Yeah, there's another one that he sent, and I haven't looked into it yet, but there's 2 that were made, and they're both about 4 hours long. So it's been really good. I've been trying to get through the animated. I know the animated series is like regarded as a really, really good series. If you want to understand what happened in the Clone Wars, and kind of like the story of how Anakin really started to turn, it takes a long time to flesh it out. Anakin's kind of demise, and
right. It's not as quick as the movies.
It's not as quick. The movies is like, whoa, hey, okay, that was sudden. You know what I mean? But like,
right.
The series really, because he's like, it's the distrust and the unfaithfulness of Anakin by the council that really pushes him towards it. They keep he keeps proving himself, but they keep saying like, you know, you're not ready for this, and you're still not wise in the Force and stuff like that. And that's what really sends Anakin over the edge. And then it goes kind of crazy. So
I feel like the Council is like the Jedi's most weakest enemy.
Yeah,
everything because they didn't even believe the Siths were back.
Yeah.
The only one that knew was what's his name, Qui-Gon Jinn. He was the only one that was all like, "No, something's going on."
Yeah.
But
and it's funny too because it's the whole premise of like, you know how like if you see the future and you see something that you don't like in the future, you try everything to not steer it towards that way, but it ends up happening anyways. Anyway. Yeah. It's that thought. It's like the Council was put together to like stop this evil force, and like we're never gonna let it happen again. And it just like slowly starts to deteriorate from the outside.
They're focused too much on the future.
Yeah, they weren't. There's like blinders that they don't see everything that's going on around them, and they're
yeah.
Star Wars is amazing.
Yeah,
I love the story.
So he posted something else on Facebook too, Steven, with a new Star Wars series coming out, I guess, with Taika Waititi.
I thought you were talking about the SNL skit of Adam Driver, the undercover boss.
Oh no,
you gotta watch that one. That one's awesome. Anyway, Taika Waititi is gonna be filming a new Star Wars movie, and I wanted to see what your guys' thoughts were about that.
So, what is that? Is that going to be like a episode 10 kind of thing, or is that like a mid somewhere in between?
You know, it's
like Rogue One or something.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a.
Do you guys like Rogue One? Did you guys like
Rogue One? Is really good.
Yeah, that was
Rogue One.
Anyways,
I didn't have a problem with Rogue One.
Yeah. Give me a few minutes to look it up, but I'm excited for it. I think I like his animating or his directing style. So I like Thor Ragnarok.
Right.
But I did hear something, and I'm not looking forward to it. And it was that sorry, I'm trying to read and talk at the same time. It was that Disney is trying to take Star Wars to make them the new Marvel. Like they want Star Wars to take the kind of the not be Marvel, but like hold the same foothold that Marvel held for Disney for such a long time.
Well, look at all the
as far as a connected universe, like everything is related, and
well, not even that, but just like outside of like just like revenue wise, basically, like how big Star Wars was and how much money it made for the company. Like they want to bring Star Wars. I'm sorry, I said Star Wars.
But
they want, Marvel. They want to bring Star Wars up to where Marvel has been for the past decade.
Star Wars has already been there.
That's what I'm saying. It's like they don't need to do that. And we just talked about like this future and preparing for the future. It's gonna I think it's gonna hurt it more than it's gonna help it.
It's
they
already
really
established. It's like
I don't see what they can do to. I mean, I don't know. I don't really understand.
I was watching a video because like
what they're trying to say with that. Or
I really wish they would bring George Lucas back in as like a consultant, and I think I heard they did.
He wants to.
I think after all of the new trilogies came out, I think he came back in because they were going to talk about. He was so upset about the Ray Skywalker thing, like how that story was going to go, and he came in and was just like, "No, this is not the Hold on, I'm going to get off the course if I don't.
Sold it.
Yeah, that's his big.
You can't be involved in something that you got rid of it. You know what I mean? It's like
you sold it, dude.
I know. If you wanted it to be a certain way, you should have kept it under your name, dude.
Right.
You can't cry about it later.
Yep.
Sorry, that's just my rash opinion.
You wanted that money.
Yeah, he did. That Disney money.
Oh, you know how Steven Spielberg and what's his name? We're just talking about him.
Taika Waititi?
No.
George Lucas?
George Lucas. Apparently they were friends, right? You guys ever watch E.T.?
Yeah.
Okay, so
Wait, the channel or the
the movie?
the movie?
The
Okay.
channel?
No,
I thought you were talking about do I watch
not
E.T.
Entertainment
E.T.
Tonight.
Entertainment Tonight. What's going on the red carpet?
No, E.T. E.T.
E.T.
Phone
phone
Home.
home. Okay,
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so there's a point where E.T.'s walking, right? And it's Halloween, and everybody's in costumes. Well, there's this kid that's dressed up like Yoda, right? And E.T. recognizes him, right? And he tries to go and follow him, and be all like, you know what I mean? And interact with them, but they're all like, nope, come on, let's go. Well, also in, I forget which one it was, where it showed like the council of all the different species and stuff like that. There's a species in there that looked exactly like E.T. And if you look at the E.T. movies, all his abilities to levitate and heal and do all these other things, it was like because they were friends, they were kind of bumping off each other. Yeah.
Yeah. That's cool. That's a cool little Easter egg.
Yeah, ain't that crazy?
Yeah. So Taika Waititi is set to co-write and direct the new Star Wars movie. It's for theatrical release. He did direct, so this won't be his first brush with the Star Wars universe. He did direct the final episode, or the final season. Sorry, he directed the season finale of The Mandalorian. Taika Waititi did.
Wait, he directed the final episode?
The final episode of The Mandalorian, which I thought was good. It rumored that he's gonna. The rumor surfaced in January, though it's unclear if the movie is one that Marvel Studios president Kevin Feige is reportedly developing. And then there's a new show coming out that's going to be a new Disney Plus by Leslie Headland. She's co-creator for Russian Doll. It's a Netflix show. And it's a female-centric show that takes place in a different part of the Star Wars timeline than other projects. So I don't know what that means.
Oh, they're gonna start a whole new story arc within the universe.
Yeah, they're gonna try to build on this universe, and they're gonna try to bring it into like the MCU. You know what I mean? Like how it's all connected and different timelines and different stories. So it'll be interesting. The books have done it already. So if they stick to lore, that's the big thing. If they stick to lore, they should be fine if they do it right.
Let the directors of Marvel take over, and George Lucas sit in, and then they'll make it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like bring George Lucas in as a consultant, and then that'd be the best that they could do. Like, hey, we want to pay you just to be a consultant.
Well, yeah, that would be nice, but I doubt that they'll do that. But here's the thing. So yeah, it'd be nice to have George Lucas, but because then it's like he's already giving you permission to do whatever you want with it, basically, because he sold it off to you. So
yeah,
why would you then take full reign of it just to go back to him and say, hey, what do you think we should do now?
Because they're losing money on it. Because
they're not losing.
Obviously, you guys are.
They are not losing money on it.
They're not losing money at all.
Okay, what did the movie rank on like Rotten Tomatoes?
Oh, they don't care about that. They care about growth.
Yeah, they care about income.
Well, yeah, I know. They're like
y'all.
I know Disney's an empire in itself. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like they could just throw money out the door. But I'm just saying, like, obviously, any company wants to make more money, right? And people want the Star Wars fans want to hear like a George Lucas style story and not what has happened. I mean, look at you guys right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but yeah.
You think it would bring more money in if they're, bringing stuff out that true Star Wars fans would like.
Yeah,
that's true.
So the movie of just Rise of Skywalker made $481 million domestically and $519 million internationally for a worldwide total of $1.001 billion.
Yeah, I think they've all been making $1 billion.
Yeah, they're making bank.
Do you guys feel like Star Wars was a fad? Like all of a sudden there's like so many more
I feel like Star Wars became a fad in the later year in this.
Like recently.
Yeah, it did.
You know what I mean? Like, I liked all the old ones. I watched them over and over and over again.
Yeah, I used to go to my buddy's house and we just like watch.
When I was a kid, yeah.
What Star Wars movie are we on? Like, all right,
but then
let's go. And
know people that weren't like into this shit.
Yeah, and now they are. Now they're the biggest Star Wars.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah.
What's wrong with that? There's nothing wrong with that.
There is nothing wrong with that.
No,
it's just
embrace it. But I'm just saying, it's become like a fad. I wonder how, that happens.
Everything happens that way. Everything happens that way.
Yeah.
People are into stuff. Look at like YouTube. You know what I mean? Like, started out small, now it's huge, and then it's like not as big as anymore. Now, whatever it's called, TikTok is. You look at Snapchat. Look at anything social, anything big. It starts out, there's a big boom, and then it fades away, and the true fans stay there, and the other fans drift off to find something else. Yeah. It all happens.
So, but here's my problem with Taika Waititi.
Okay, let's hear it.
So I did not know that he directed the last episode of Mandalorian.
Yeah.
It surprises me to know that because it didn't seem like a Taika Waititi type.
Right.
So obviously he did Thor Ragnarok. Did you guys watch Jojo Rabbit?
You know what? I haven't. I started it and I never finished it. Like I literally sat down to start it and then something caught me up and then I never sat back down to finish it. So but I've heard it's really good.
It's pretty good. It's pretty good, but it's. I feel like Taika Waititi is meant to be a comedy director. And
he did another really weird one too.
Sorry, we did another one. I know I didn't watch it, but there was another one he did. It was like
it's like an indie
supposed to be a horror,
huh?
but it was a comedy horror because of course he was.
Yeah. It's the couple in the room, and they kill people in the bathtub.
But yeah, it's
okay.
It was some kind of dark comedy horror.
Yeah.
But again, so comedy. So that's my problem because I feel like there's already jokey going on in Star Wars already as it is. That's the Disney formula. They always try to add something funny in there and comedic and have the comic relief here and there for all of their movies. And Star Wars has been doing that tremendously a lot, I think. And for him to take that role, for them to give it to him, just further lets me know that they want to go in that direction. So it kind of makes me wonder how serious of a Star Wars film we're gonna get. I think it's gonna be even more jokey. I don't think it's gonna be tonally what we want it to be for a Star Wars film with him as the director. I could be wrong in all of this, but like I said, just based upon history and his filmography. It kind of seems like it would lend itself to fall in that direction, and if it does, it wouldn't appeal to me. I don't think it'll appeal to most Star Wars fans anyway.
Here's my thought on it.
If it does go that route, would you guys be okay with that? If it's comedic?
If it went,
you know me, I like funny.
Well, I
like laughing.
Yeah, but for your Star Wars film, though,
I don't know. I think it's a great thing to have a comedic break in any movie you do, whether it's a drama or whatever. There are certain points where you could fit it in where you're all like, okay, give me a break for being all sad and all that stuff. I mean, it's a good resetter, and for a scary movie or whatever, it's a good resetter so that you get the person watching to. I don't know. Does it make sense what I'm talking about?
No, I get what you're saying. Yeah. And I do appreciate those moments too, where it's like it gives you a break from being all serious. And for the most part, if it's done at a good balance, I'm okay with it. But then if you try to do it too many times and to a point where it's supposed to be serious and you're not letting it be serious and you're not taking the scene serious or the moment serious, then that's when I think it has a negative effect for me.
Right.
I think, and that's why that was my biggest problem with Thor Ragnarok. I think I said that on here already. Yeah. But that was my biggest problem with Thor Ragnarok. I thought it was too funny, too often, and it didn't give it time to set in those serious moments because it was too ready to relieve you of that seriousness and give you something funny again. And I want to be able to hit in all those emotions,
Right.
Anyway, Steven, what do you think?
Well, okay, so I think that the current Star Wars franchise is suffering from the same fate as the DC franchise when being compared to movies. And unfortunately, I think that whether good or bad, all movies, all big franchises are being compared to the MCU, right? Can we
Right.
agree on that?
I think so.
And so the biggest like retort to that is that, well, they're just trying to be like MCU, but they're not MCU. Okay, and so like what we always said, we've said it too, is like, well, if they want to be the MCU, then get an MCU director in there and like be an MCU movie, right?
Now they're doing it,
and now they're doing it. So what the MCU does good about comedy is they balance very well with story. I think they do. Now, let's not, I mean, I guess we are talking about Taika Waititi and Thor Ragnarok, and lore-wise, I don't think that one holds up as the strongest lore centric and correct MCU movie. Like, right?
I don't think any of them really are.
I
mean, they take liberties in just about all of them. I mean, just to some degree more than others. I think it's more blatant and more apparent in Thor Ragnarok because it's two stories that drop.
Yeah.
And then so it's obvious that they're anyway. I'm sorry not to take away from your.
No. I just feel like it can be done. It can be done. It just needs to be done well. And I think the best way to try it is with actually bringing in a MCU director and having him do that. You know what I mean? It's, I don't know. There's plenty of jokes along, in Star Wars. It's not all seriousness. There's like,
I mean, Yoda himself is a meme.
Yeah. Like, I mean, when he's in Dagobah and he's like smacking when he's smacking R2D2, like those are super funny like moments. You know what I mean? And they're maybe not as wacky as Taika Waititi's as like Thor Ragnarok, but I never really felt like Ragnarok pulled me out. Like the comedy never like pulled me out of the story. You know what I mean?
No, it didn't pull you out of the story.
And I feel like the new Star Wars does. Like they're trying to be funny.
Right.
And so there's like the scene where like in the middle one, Return of the Jedi, when Finn gets out of the thing and he's like stuff squirting out of him, and him and Poe like haven't seen each other. They stop to have this like super comedic moment, and it's like, if my friend just went down in a war, I'm not gonna be like laughing or like making weird. I'm gonna give him a hug. I don't care what's coming out of him. I'm gonna give him a hug, and I'm gonna
example of my point. Yeah,
and so
it takes you out of that serious moment.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, like that's a big moment.
Yeah, exactly.
And so if they do it right, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, they're not picking and choosing the correct moment.
Yeah. There are like good opportunities to say stuff. You know what I mean? But like when it's just it's like they just throw spaghetti at the wall and like whatever one sticks, let's go with it. Like I don't know. That's not how you be funny. You be like calculated with your that kind of humor only works in a comedy like Step Brothers or Dumb and Dumber. You know what I mean? Like, not every joke's gonna land, but we're gonna throw a lot at you.
Right.
I mean, could you accept that, Jason, if they chose the right moment to do it?
Yeah, I mean, I'm accepting it. I mean, they do it throughout the MCU. I mean, Steven called it the MCU formula, but I call it the Disney formula. So they've been doing it in Star Wars too. And so they do it in whatever they do, whatever they have a hand in.
Yeah. So you're not saying you don't want no comedy at all. You're just
I'm not saying that. I'm not saying
I'm just clarifying, like, you know what I mean?
Just if it didn't magnify what it does now, then I'm fine with it. But my fear with Taika Waititi is that he's going to ramp it up. And if he ramps it up, then I feel like, because right now I think it's at a point where it's at that borderline already, at that limit, and it's like it's almost crossing over.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see what kind of liberties he had in directing the last episode of the. Oh. It's all right. We'll get him back.
It wasn't me this time.
Sorry, I don't know what happened.
You just pressed the button. But it would be interesting to see like how if he had a lot of liberties or if they said like you need to stick like to the script, or if they said like no, like go do your thing. You know what I mean? Like what did they? He directed it, so obviously he
wrote and
taken it certain
directed it,
ways.
right? Did you say written?
I don't know if he wrote and directed it, but he definitely directed it. Let me look it up to be. I can't
That's
write.
scary if he wrote it. I'll be kind of worried about that.
Writer. It says that. I don't want to know. I typed in like the Mandalorian finale writer, and it brought up the Clone Wars finale. It says that Dave Filoni did it. No. Hold on.
Wait, are you talking the Mandalorian one, or are you talking about the Star Wars movie he's got coming?
Hold on real fast. Yeah, I see it's talking about season 2. People probably hate us when we look this stuff up and we don't know. They're like screaming at their computers like,
"Like you dummies!
You should know this."
Yeah. How do you not know?
So if you're that person, obviously. I'm really sorry. What's going on?
So meanwhile, while he looks that up,
yeah.
So Mick, if Star Wars got like ramped up in the comedy for like their new upcoming whatever movies that they do, I know you're a comedy guy, but you'll be accepting of that if
as long as it's in the right position, you know what I mean? I mean, if they're just making it a funny, a comedy when it's not a comedy, you know what I mean? A sci-fi adventure movie, you know what I mean? I don't know what the actual genre of the movie would be, but that's not Star Wars. I feel if they did a comedy thing, they would have to put it in the right spot, just like the Marvel movies. I think they do an awesome job in the Marvel movies when they throw their, like I said, it's a great break. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and you can't be completely serious. In my point of view, it's a sci-fi movie. You know what I mean? It's like I would be accepting of it as long as it's like
okay. Sorry, I mean
cohesive to the story.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it doesn't take away from what the author or the writer is trying to portray to you.
Sorry, that was super rude of me to cut you off. The final episode was written by Jon Favreau and directed by Taika Waititi.
Yeah.
So that's right.
Jon Favreau is all over the Disney payroll, man.
He is a stud when it comes to Disney and everything he's doing.
Dude.
He's so it's so good. I love what he's doing. So, well, I think we've spent plenty of time on Star Wars. Jason, you said there was a question you wanted to ask me. Did you already hit it?
No, I did not. That I wanted to ask you pertaining to that or something else, a different.
I don't know. We were in discussions earlier, and you said, "Oh, there's a question."
Oh, well, yeah, there was something that happened. This isn't brand new. This has been a couple weeks in the making already. But did you guys hear about the whole theater versus studio battle?
Nuh-uh.
No. So have you guys watched Trolls?
Yeah, it's done like
I haven't watched it yet.
It's done like amazing. It's done like really good on digital release, is what I was reading.
Exactly. So that's and Universal is the studio that put that out there. And Universal kind of bragging about that. They're kind of like, hey, we're doing pretty good with this, and I guess they're on like a Trolls digital world tour or something.
Yeah.
And
where can you find it digitally?
There's like
everywhere.
it's on streaming
Amazon.
services. Yeah, because I watched
For
it
free,
on
or is it you gotta
No,
pay?
you
you
gotta
gotta
pay.
pay.
You gotta pay.
You gotta pay. It's also on any cable service that has a video on demand platform. It's on there also. So basically anywhere that you can online pay for something to watch
Yeah.
Gotcha.
is where it's at. And they being Universal was thinking that, hey, since we had so much success doing this way, we may go forward to try to do that with more titles, more upcoming titles. And but what they want to do is they want to do that in combination with theater release. And so maybe they might put it in the theaters for a little bit and then stream it, or do it simultaneously. But then AMC got gangster and was like, no, if you do that,
That's not how it's gonna happen.
yeah, it's not gonna go down. And so basically AMC banned Universal from their theaters.
I did hear a little bit about
Yeah,
this.
and so so now, at least as it stands now, any AMC theater will not play any Universal films. And then Regal Cinema got
They're
into the fray.
Bye
And
AMC.
they didn't necessarily ban anybody, but they said, yeah, we're also taking that stand too. Anybody who wants to not respect the theatrical window, they're not going to play their movies also. But they didn't go forward to say they're burning Universals, but they don't want people to go straight to streaming and digital release, because they want to respect that theatrical window, because theaters need to make money too.
Yeah,
If they keep doing that, they're going to lose money because people are going to be watching it at home.
It's like Blockbuster, bro.
I was just saying the same thing. Like, this is a time where they need to be very careful about what their decision is going to be.
Yeah. Sorry, them AMC theaters are going under. You start threatening them. No, we're in the age of technology right now, dude.
Yeah.
They'll be able to find a way to make money on the online quicker, because a lot of people, it's so much easier to watch, especially if you got kids, so much easier to watch a brand new movie when it comes out at home. You know what I mean?
So I have a funny comparison. So like a while back, probably like really like 10 years ago, video games started going to like digital libraries, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I was like a guy who at first I was like, no, I want the hard copy.
Same here.
There's like, you know, nostalgia and having the hard copy and all this stuff. And then I had kids, and then it was like inconveniencing to go out and have to drive it. And like, this store doesn't have it in stock, and so I got to go out to this store. And when I could just sit at home and I could just be like, boop, I got the game. Wait for it to download now. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and
you have that
amazing.
one day. You have that one day where you have free time. You're like,
yeah,
I'm about to get Call of Duty.
Yep, and you're just like,
buy that right now.
It's right here. Like, I gotta buy it. Yeah. It's instantly in my thing, and it's so nice, and I love it.
Man,
and I don't have
scary, dude.
It is scary.
Go under.
I'm
a hard copy guy to the fullest. Like, even you said that you reverted, I still would prefer the hard copies. I still have all my games in a hard copy, even DVDs. I refuse to buy any movies digitally and have it stored in the cloud. I want to visually see it, be able to get it. I got all my movies on digital, on hard copy.
I don't have
so that's how I am with the theaters. Save our theaters, man. If we let this continue the way it is, we're gonna lose.
Hey, okay. I'm on board with saving our theaters.
Yeah, I
love the theater experience. Yeah. What I don't love is the parents bringing their 2-year-old son to an R-rated movie, and the dude falling asleep next to you and snoring in your ear, or you having to get up to take your kid to run them to the bathroom and not being able to pause them. That's what I don't like. But I don't know. Maybe I don't like the theater experience.
No.
I mean, that's an experience. That's what you get when you go out. I mean, you can have somebody fall asleep on you when you're at home, and that can happen there.
It happens all the time.
I love it.
Baby, if you're listening, it happens all the time. I'm right.
But it's like, but also think about this, especially fan-centric movies, right?
Yeah.
If you go to the theater and watch that, and those moments when, I know we always talk about the MCU, but I'm gonna go to it just because it's easy.
No. Yeah,
everybody knows.
That's the one. There's one scene I can always get behind, a fan reaction.
So this is probably not gonna be it.
Say it.
But the one of the things that really made me go when I was in the theater for the MCU movies, it was in was it Age of Ultron, when Vision was first made.
Yeah.
And freaking Vision gave his speech. He's like, "Come on, let's go!" And he picks up Thor's hammer and he's like, "Here you
You're
go."
just like,
And then everybody's like,
whoa!
and so and the audience reaction made that moment
Yep.
even more spectacular. And so if you didn't have that, I mean, it'd be still an awe moment for me, but it wouldn't have the same weight as it would
I
have
agree.
being in the theater.
And that's
so
what,
moments like that you'll miss without
Yeah.
having a theatrical experience, man. I'm all for theater. Everybody knows that I write and I want to make movies and stuff like that. So there's a certain success that comes with having your movie played in theaters.
Yep.
And as opposed to just having something go to a streaming service or something like that.
Yeah, it would be sad, dude, if the theaters went under because all this crap. You know what I mean? Because I love the experience of going to movies. I love movie popcorn, bro. You can't give up that movie popcorn.
I can make you some movie popcorn right here.
With that butter, don't
popcorn
stop,
soup. Oh, that's
keep
disgusting.
Keep turning it.
It's like going to a baseball game. You know, if you watch it on
right,
TV, it's not the same. You go there, you get yourself a ballpark hot dog. You know what I mean?
But it's only
I
agree.
agree.
Movies, though.
You know,
but wait, but like, let me play devil's advocate because I'm kind of on the fence with it, right? So, what about look at like traditional theater, like live action theater?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that that form has taken a dive in in years, and that's when that used to be the main way to get entertainment was to go to a play and go see a play.
I don't know if it has.
You don't think it has?
But not drastically. I mean, I think it's locational too, right? So locational, is that a word?
I think it is.
But it depends on where, because I know New York, right? That's the biggest play. What's the word I'm looking for? But that's where that's the biggest. If you want to be a theater actor, that's where you go.
Well, I mean, we live in Sacramento. We have the B Street Theater. Isn't that where plays happen down there?
Yeah.
And so, like, I've lived in Sacramento my entire life. I've never been to a B Street Theater play.
Well, there's a bunch of theaters downtown.
Is there?
Okay. A bunch of theaters.
I've never been to any one. Now, whether that's like on me, which it is on me.
Do you like plays?
I've never been to one. So I don't know if I would like a play or not.
Is that something that interests you though? Would you want to go to one?
I'd rather see a movie.
I saw Wicked in New York.
Yeah, I saw
dope,
Wicked. Not in New York, but Wicked is
when I was in New York, it was dope. Yeah. They had people flying around and stuff. I was like, what? Yeah. This is crazy.
Plays are dope. Dude. Plays are very because you have like this almost like one-dimensional, almost or two-dimensional to the audience, right?
Yeah.
And so you have to make it in a 3D space and be creative of making it create these illusions. It's so artistic.
How it is. It is.
Performances are done.
I'm not knocking theater. Like that's not my goal. But like my question is like, will movie theaters turn into theaters? You know what I mean? Like in the medium. You know, it's like, does it take a step back to on demand?
It looks like it's gonna go that way, man. But because I think that studios can get away with stuff like that with a Trolls, with something like that. I think it's Universal who does Fast and Furious too. So what happens when the Fast and Furious come? They're gonna need theaters for that, right? I mean,
isn't Universal also James Bond?
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. So that's another good point. So James Bond is a big series, right? Everybody follows James Bond. So if I don't think it'll have the same success if you take theaters out of that equation. I mean, I could be wrong. I mean, like Mick, you said we're going to a new age now, and that's probably correct. And it probably can potentially get to that point where it is, but
they're cutting the middleman out, so they're going to make more money. The only thing is because you'll have multiple people at the house. That's the only way they're going to make it. I see problems in it because if a new movie comes out, me, my wife, my kids are going to watch it. Or if I go to my mom's house, we're all going to watch that just for the purchase of that one movie.
Yeah.
So instead of the only way they would make out is if they charge like $20, like we've been seeing. Charge $20. Yeah, it was like $20 for like what was that? Remember that Disney movie that we just watched? The one D&D one?
Oh,
Onward.
yeah, Onward.
Yeah, they put it when they first put it out. They put it out on Prime, and it was like 20-something bucks.
Right.
I was about to pay that thing, but then Disney Plus dropped it for free.
Yeah,
but I mean, I that's the only way I see they will be making money on it, because they're not having to pay the theater to, show it.
Yeah.
So, but it's like, Steven, you just mentioned the Star Wars that made $1 billion in typically a movie is in the theaters for what, 3 months. So in 3 months, that made $1 billion.
That movie was in theaters for like 6 months. That movie was in theaters forever.
What movie?
It probably wasn't. I'm probably wrong, but
it's typically 3 months.
Yeah.
So,
does it make $1 billion on demand versus being in the theater? Right. I don't know.
I think honestly the problem with that is their marketing right now. They don't know how to market it like they do to movie theaters and they online with on demand. Because just to go back to the movie that we were just talking about, the D&D movie, Onward. A lot of people didn't even know that thing was out. I didn't even know it was out until my wife just came across it. I was like, oh crap, I'm gonna go watch it.
Yeah, and I think
if they
that it was out.
Market it right, I think they'll still be able to make money on it.
Yeah, they're still figuring it out. I think it'd be easy though. All they gotta do is like put like, sometimes you go on Netflix and it has like this autoplay trailer that's coming on. You do something like that for coming soon or something like that to get people interested.
Well, if they market on YouTube or any, because a lot of people are at home now, or wherever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Market a little bit more.
Let's look at this scenario. This is a real world scenario, right? Mick, you just for the first time saw Rise of Skywalker today or yesterday.
Yeah.
Like, if it was on demand when it came out, you would have seen that movie when it came out. Maybe.
Probably.
So
it's just with that movie specifically, I was just kind of, honestly, to speak truthfully, I just kind of fell off of Star Wars for a while.
Yeah.
I was really into it, like in middle school and high school, when they came out with episode 1, 2, and 3. I was like doing all my research and all that stuff. The Star Wars always been kind of like secondhand to anything else I'm doing right now. So that's why it took me so long to actually get down to watch,
Right. But like, maybe that wasn't a good example, but I feel like a lot of people are like, oh, I haven't seen it yet. I can't see it yet. If I found out something was dropping and it was on demand, I wouldn't have to like plan for sitters and I wouldn't have to do all that stuff. You know what I mean? I could just like see it at home, and I'd pay money to see a new movie at home. I would pay.
Yeah, I agree with you. I would pay money to see a movie at home too.
But
I mean, you're also. I can see what Jason's saying. You're paying for the experience as well.
For sure. No, I could. Well, and
there's certain movies I will not just watch only at home. There's just some movies that has to,
like Infinity War and
exactly.
I had to go see those.
Well, and that was my big experience was Infinity War. The crowd reaction when freaking Captain America picks up Mjolnir. Oh my gosh! Or in Endgame. Holy crap! Like, that's one of the coolest theater moments of my life when the entire theater starts cheering.
Yeah.
Because of like, I watch like reaction videos sometimes. I'll pull it up and watch a reaction. I'll get like teary eyed. I'll watch it and I get chills. And I'm just like, this is like the most amazing thing ever. Yeah. And that would like those kind of, we could have that as a family and like have that moment as a family. But like, are my kids really going to am I going to miss the moment because my kids are goofing around on the couch or somebody took somebody's blanket or something? Like,
I think I'm a little different because if I could go into the movie theater and not have anybody around me, that would be the best.
That'd be everybody's dream.
I don't give a crap about anybody else's reaction to the movie. I just like seeing it on the big screen, the audio.
Well, that's the thing is like
sitting
Top
down.
Gun. Like I'm super excited for Top Gun, the new one.
Right.
I don't want to see that at home. I want to see that in theaters, man.
Yeah.
Right.
I want to hear those jets screaming past me in like surround sound.
The experience is like, You came there for one purpose. When you're at home and you watch a movie at home, you got things going on at home. You got lights, you got ear horns and stuff like that. But when you go to the movies and you pay that $10, you go sit down in that movie.
15.
You got your popcorn, whatever, how much it is. On Tuesdays, a little cheaper because they got that deal. You go sit down. It's just you in that movie, and that experience right there is awesome. I hate it when it's a full theater.
I totally agree.
But that's the reason why I don't. I hope theaters aren't affected and they don't go away. Yeah. I want them to stay here because that connection with that movie is amazing.
Yeah, and I feel like I'm just like back and forth because like I have pros for theaters going and pros for them not, but like. Blockbuster. I miss Blockbuster. I miss going to the store and like, let's go to Blockbuster and rent a movie. You know what I mean? And
Mom,
like,
can I get this? Mom, can I get this?
Like that's nostalgia for me. You know what I mean? And like when I was a kid, that was awesome. I would still do that if I had a chance to today.
Yeah.
At Dimple, we have like me and my wife had Dimple memberships.
Oh,
so
really?
we'd go to Dimple and we buy movies all the time.
Right.
My mom,
and it went out of business, and we're like, gosh, dang it! Like there goes that thing.
My mom's gonna kill me for saying this story, but I have a Blockbuster story.
Let's hear it.
Anyways, it was me, my cousin Jay, my sister, and my youngest brother Joe, right? And we go in Blockbuster. We're all running around, getting games and getting movies, and we're sitting there. And then my mom's like, "All right, let's check out. Come on, let's go." And we go up to the register or whatever, and I'm looking at my little brother. My little brother's looking at this lady right behind my mom, right? Like and he's like 4 years old or something like that, right? And he's sitting there just look at her, right? And this lady freaking says, "Take a picture, it'll last longer," to a 4-year-old kid.
Oh my god!
And my mom went. She turned her head hecka quick. She's like, "What the did you say to my son?"
Oh my
He was probably looking at you because your face is ugly, right? And she was ready to square up with this chick. And I was like, "Oh, my mom about to beat this lady." But that's my Blockbuster story. It was crazy. I mean, to this day, I talked about my mom. She was like, "Yeah, I was still." So talk to my son like that.
Right? Have you ever seen?
Happy Mother's Day, by the way.
Yeah.
And happy birthday to my wife.
Oh,
May 9th. Had to throw that in now.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Well done, sir.
Happy birthday.
No, I was thinking. You said you were about to see your mom fight. Have any of you guys ever seen one of your parents like actual fight?
No. There's that one moment. And actually, if my memory serves me correctly, I'm pretty sure my older brother like held my mom back.
Oh,
because either held her back or held a punch back or something. I don't remember exactly, but there was a moment my mom was getting ready. She was going after somebody, and my brother had to grab her. But
I gotta see.
Never seen him fight
in my life. I got to see my dad fight someone, and it was the coolest moment of my life. It was so awesome.
How did it go down?
All right, Dad, don't kill me. So we were going to a baseball game, or I had baseball practice, and we stopped at the 7-Eleven to get some sunflower seeds. And this car had double parked, and so my dad, and another guy came to the aisle at the same time. And so my dad was like, okay, like he was on the right, so he had the right of way. So he went to turn in, and he just tried to get like as close to the double parked car as possible. Well, the guy next to him, he's like some young punk kid in like a Corvette or something. Like he didn't like that. So my dad was getting in. He was like, "Stay here. I'm gonna go get some seeds." So he's in the aisle, and the guy says something to my dad, and he didn't pay attention. Well, then he walks by my dad again and pushes my dad into the like aisle. My dad like falls down and like makes a whole bunch of stuff. And he got up and he was like, "You better watch yourself when you walk out that door." And so I see like all this commotion happening from like inside the truck. I'm like watching it inside the store. Like everybody's like stopped and looking around. And my dad comes out, and I got out. I was like, "Dad, what's going on?" He's like, "I'm going to show you a lesson. This is what happens when people mess with you. You stand up for yourself." And the dude came out, And he was like, "What are you gonna do about it, old man?" My dad just fully tattooed that guy right in the jaw, knocked him out.
Right in the kisser.
Yeah,
right in the kisser.
He knocked him out. So then the guy like tried to tackle my dad. My dad like held him down on the ground. He was like, "You done yet?" And he was like, "Yeah, I'm done." Lips all bleeding and everything. I was like, so we're getting the truck. The best part was we get in the truck and it's like dead quiet. I'm just like, like, oh my gosh. And so he was like, "Don't you say a word to anybody." So like, okay. Like, so I go to baseball practice and they're like, "Steven, you're being super quiet. What's wrong with you?" And I was like, I can't tell you guys. They're like, "No, you gotta tell us. You gotta tell us." I'm like, "I'm gonna get in trouble if I say it." Like, "Well, you've already said it now, so say it." And I'm like, "Well, I just saw my dad beat somebody up," and like everybody knew my dad, and they were like, "What? What?" And so like, oh, it was awesome. So I played ball with with a buddy, and his dad worked at our job, and so he comes to my dad the next day. He's like, "So I hear you're fighting some guys," and my dad was like, "Oh my god, that kid's dead." So I got in trouble for that, but he hates that story. But it's like one of my most favorite memories ever. Watching my dad smoke some dude from getting up in his face.
I don't remember any time my parents fought anybody, but I remember there was one time when I was I went to Rudder Middle School.
I don't know what that's at.
Well, anyways,
Anyway,
we're moving and we're going to the school, right? And I was going to go pick up all my stuff because we're moving from my locker.
Yeah.
Anyways, we go to the school, we pick up my stuff, and then we go to the car and we pull out the parking lot and we start driving. Driving away. You know what I mean? But as we're driving away, we see like 3 lunch ladies just booking it out into the parking lot, like running. My dad was like what, looking, and he sees this dude running, and he has something in his hand, right? And he's running, runs across the street in front of our car and goes into the neighborhood, right? Well, my dad, I think he was training to become a correctional officer or something like that.
Yeah.
And he was doing a keto and stuff. And he thought he was fucking Steven Seagal and shit. And anyways, he was fucking. He saw that, so he turned down the corner real quick, right? And we come up to this guy, and he's sitting there holding a radio, and he's up against this wall, right, hiding in some bushes, and he's holding like a radio that he just stole out of a car, right? And it must have been one of the lunch ladies' radios or whatever. And he's sitting there by the wall, like, and my dad's like creeping, and then all of a sudden he goes, "Arr!" And it's me and my brother in the car, and he hops out of the car, and me and my brother are just sitting there like, and my dad starts, woo, 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 and this dude's like fast, right? Both of them I was like, I can't believe my dad runs that fast.
My dad's a Flash.
Right, he's like, ran, and just, I remember they got back to the park, like where the school is, because there's a park right next to the school. And my dad just goes, blow, lays him out,
runs him over,
and then puts him in this little keto lock, like, right? And I can't remember how I even got back over there.
That's so
I don't know if I hopped out of the car or if I parked it. I don't know how the car got back over there, because my dad just threw that thing and parked in the middle of the street in the neighborhood, right? And then jumped out of the car to go chase him. Yeah. But I remember going back over there. My dad was holding him there in some keto lock, right? And he was like, "You're going to break my fucking hand." He's like, "Yes, I am. I'm about to break your hand, so stop moving. Stop moving." And he held him there for like 20 minutes until the cops came.
That's awesome.
I was all like, damn, my dad's badass. I ain't ever going to run for my dad.
I know. So like that's
I'll run for my mom, but I ain't running for my dad.
My dad used to tell stories all the time about like, he grew up, he had like fight a little bit, and so, but I was always like, oh, these stories are so awesome. Like his fight stories were always awesome, and he would do like, I think it's just cemented, like my dad is gonna kill me one of these days if I get out of line, so I'm gonna be on my best behavior and not mess up. I remember my dad seeing a hit and run once, and he took off after the guy like he was a police officer. He was running red lights, and my mom was like, you know, you gotta stop it. Like we're all the best. We're just like, go faster, Dad, go faster. It's like 4 boys.
Nowadays,
Yeah.
I'm all like, ain't my shit.
I
I don't
didn't
know
see
them.
I didn't see that. I don't know what happened.
Right.
I gotta go home, play some God of War real quick. I don't know what the fuck just happened right now.
That's the whole thing, but I'm out.
That's their business. I don't know.
Oh, that's so funny.
Should have been standing out in the street.
That's awesome. Pass the blame. Oh, what am I?
But that was
That's
the crazy
amazing.
stuff. I was like, what the? Our parents were
You
crazy.
you
man.
said something and it brought a thought to my mind, but I can't remember what it was. I was gonna go somewhere, but I didn't want to interrupt you in the story.
Oh, no.
But
Yeah.
yeah, no, it's cool.
Good
My dad's fight stories are awesome, but he's he hates talking about it. He hates that I talk about him. So I'm sorry. He's an amazing man, and he doesn't do that stuff anymore. So he's super good. So
Disclaimer.
yeah, my disclaimer. So you guys,
No, so your booty ain't red later.
I'm 30 years old. He'll still spank me. Like, I'm sorry, Dad. It's like, what I told you about talking like that? No, he's amazing. So speaking, we're talking about action. I saw a new action movie out on Netflix.
Extraction? Did you watch it?
Extraction. Yeah.
I started it.
You started it
late at night, and then I just
yeah.
have it.
What
in
is
me.
it?
I didn't have
What is
It's called
it?
Extraction.
Stay up.
It's got Chris Hemsworth in it.
Yeah.
It's a
It
Netflix
looks
original
really
movie.
good, man. It's really good.
It's good. It's good. I don't want to ruin it for you. It's a good movie. It's a good movie. No.
It's a good movie. Just
No,
watch it.
I just don't want to give us. It's not a spoiler, but like the plot is kind of like shallow. It's a shallow plot.
Those
but
are the best, actually.
Yeah, but it's like
Not bad.
like just take it for what it is. Like that happened. The thing happens that kicks everything off. It's really good. We were talking earlier about like action being like a roller coaster. This movie does a great job, a fantastic job of like building the character and like understanding who this guy is, and it does a really good job. It's a good movie. I'd give it like a 7.5 or an 8. It was super enjoyable to sit down and watch, and like we watched it and we were just like, that's really good. It had nothing bad. There's a really cool shot they do in it. I want to see if you pick up on it, Jason. I'm like, it was halfway through it, and I'm like, oh my gosh, it's been doing this shot this whole time, and it hasn't. Yeah, it was really good. So it's a good movie. I recommend it. But has there been anything else you guys been watching?
No, TROS is what I would just watched recently. I already told you guys I watched that.
Yeah.
But I tried to get on that Extraction, man, and I
Gotta get on it.
kicking myself for not seeing it. But it was just like a late night, man.
Yeah,
I'm gonna throw this on, and then I thought I had the energy to stay up, and I really
Nope.
I've been
Nope.
I've been watching Kingdom.
Kingdom.
The last
Kingdom. No, not The Last Kingdom. It's called Kingdom.
The first
It's on
Kingdom.
it's on Netflix. Netflix.
What?
And it's like back in feudal Japan, and it's like a zombie apocalypse
Oh, okay.
or whatever. But it's not cheesy at all. This thing it's real good. Check it out, Jason. I think you really like it.
Yeah, okay.
I like
Kingdom,
it. Steven might be too scared to watch it though.
I'm scared. I'm not gonna watch it. I don't
It's
do
good.
zombies.
No, it's just called The Kingdom, and it's subtitle. I mean, you could watch it in dub, but it's if you click on it, it's subtitle.
Yeah, okay.
I need to finish My Hero Academia.
Oh, yeah.
I'm taking this next week off from work, so I'm gonna spend some time watching some of these.
Taking
Did
a
you
whole
guys?
week off?
Yeah, I'm taking the week off. We were supposed to be going to
nice.
Disneyland, but that's not happening.
So aren't they're open back up now, aren't they?
Disneyland?
I thought they opened back up.
No, they better not be.
You're
If they are, I'm going to Disneyland on Monday. So.
Yeah,
Do you
Land
still have
Disney
those
World,
tickets?
something like that, I think.
Yeah,
you have the tickets.
I still got the tickets. We bought them, and they like they give us like rainy day, passes for when it does open up. But I got an email from like our hotel. They like I got a weird thing. It like declined my card, and I was like, declined? What the heck? And then it said that they declined it because they canceled the reservation. And then the last update was May 8th, and they said that it's not opened up, and they have no date in sight.
I thought I heard what opened. Something opened.
I mean, just like little
The federal government.
No, no, like Disney. I don't know if it was
Maybe-
Disney World or maybe.
Well,
York
okay, so
Studios or something
Florida,
like that, Florida.
Disney World's in Florida, and Florida is kind of like the last one to be doing all the, holds and all that kind of stuff. So they may have opened, but my tickets are for Disneyland because we're in California. But I was so excited, man. Star Wars came, Star Wars Land, and my kids have never been. It's going to be such a fun trip, but we're going to go.
Yeah, man.
So instead, I'm going to binge watch a bunch of videos. I'm going to finish up My Hero Academia. I just bought an Xbox, so I'm going to play some Xbox stuff. And, did you guys see the trailer for Space Force?
No.
Oh, man, it's so funny. I can't wait for that show. It's Steve Carell is going to be the captain of the Space Force.
Were they making fun of Trump's
So
Space
good.
Force?
Yeah, well, it's like a real thing, but it's kind of like a spoof on it. It's a really good trailer. I'll post the trailer on the Facebook page, but it's really funny. From the trailer, I was just like, this looks pretty good. What I like about these new shows, like I think it's a Netflix show, you get to see these characters being a little more grittier. That's what I like about Extraction. Mick, are you like rolling? What are we playing? Dungeons and Dragons all of a sudden?
No, sorry, I knocked something over on accident.
Roll a d20 and see if you slide a hand check. So, but like in Extraction, like Chris Hemsworth, like he's Thor, you know what I mean? Like that's what you see him as, but he cusses, and it's the same thing with like in Knives Out when you see like Captain America dropping F-bombs, and you're like, whoa, dude, what? That's not Captain. Oh wait, this isn't Captain America.
Hey, before we get, to the end here, I want to ask you because I just want to know what you guys thought. The Pentagon has released those 3 videos and said they're real.
Oh, the UFOs.
The UFOs.
Yeah.
What do you think about it?
Well, okay. Did they say that it's an alien spacecraft?
No.
Or that they're just confirmed UFOs?
No, the video is confirmed. They didn't say anything about it being. They said they don't want it. They're just unidentified flying objects.
Yeah, that doesn't. Yeah.
I don't know if I saw the videos, but I think the 3 that I'm thinking of, they've been on the internet for years.
Yeah, they have.
So it's just like, is it the space debris and it's like the big floating?
But they're saying
thing?
they're not. They're saying that they're not doctor videos. They're real.
Yeah.
Real videos.
I don't know.
So I don't know if they did. It's one thing to say there's a UFO, which is just unidentified flying object. There's one thing to say that than to say, hey, there's alien life form, or there's.
Of course, they're not going to say alien life.
I know,
look how
but if
people
you're just
acted
saying that
with
there's
Corona.
something in the air and we don't know what it is, that's not really. I don't know.
I don't know.
I need
Some
more.
Navy Air Force guys were flying around saying, "What the heck is that? It's turning like that." You know what I mean?
My favorite.
I don't know, man.
My favorite part about the
We
whole
ain't
thing
alone.
is that like literally nobody cares. Like there's been zero there's no talk about it on the internet or nothing. Everybody's just like,
Corona's covering it, dog. The Corona's covering it.
Mick's a conspiracy theorist.
So here's the thing, though, Mick. So
you don't think there are no aliens? You don't think there's aliens?
I didn't say that. But
I don't know.
I just need confirmation. I just want to
affirmation. You need affirmation.
Yeah, affirmation. Yeah.
You got.
So here's the thing. So if someone sees it, I didn't see the video, but if they're saying, "Hey, that thing is spinning in a weird way," I don't know how far or close it was, but sometimes at a distance, things can be it's like this optical illusion going on where it looks like it's making a movement that it's not actually making. I don't know. The best thing I can describe is like tires when you start to take off. The faster your car goes, it's like the rim starts to go backwards.
I get you. What you're talking about.
It's our eyes shutter speed.
Yeah, I guess so.
I think that's basically what it is.
That's basically it. So things like that can happen, and if you're looking at it from a distance, and it can look like it's doing something that you're not, that your mind is telling you it's wrong, and I don't know.
I don't know, man.
I just don't. I don't think that there's a big story behind it.
They're about to harvest this pretty soon.
Right.
Just joking. I'm just joking.
Oh my gosh.
But that's just crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's like I don't know. It's different. I don't know if I can get into the hype of it all, but
Yeah, I can't get into it yet.
I mean, they'll never come out and say, "Oh, there's these extraterrestrials."
that's what I'm saying. What
there.
I need to see, the proof I need like the president of the United States standing next to a thing that has an alien. But I don't know. I need to touch it before.
So
I
what was the point of them
the
releasing that if they're not going to say anything about it anyway?
Because
people are saying stuff about it already or something. I don't know.
I don't know. I have no.
Like that,
I have no clue because those videos are grainy as crap. Anyways, you can't really see what's going on. But I don't know, man. I don't think we're alone out here. I don't think we're alone. I think somebody's watching over us.
So you think that we're too busy worried about zombies being made and we should be worried about an alien invasion?
Yeah.
War of the Worlds.
Thanos is out there, bro. He's about to bring all these dudes. Where's Hulk? Where's Iron Man? We need all that.
Right.
I just want to know what you guys' thoughts were on that because it's crazy. It is. I think it is anyway.
And crazy the idea that there's other life out there, or crazy that the
No, I don't think it's crazy that there's other life out there. I mean, there's billions upon billions of planets out there with stars that you know what I mean? I mean, it's almost inevitable that there's some kind of life form, whether it's plant or microbial. You know what I mean?
Right.
But it's just a crazy thought. You ever watch Ancient Aliens? That show?
Mm-hmm.
Never. You never seen Ancient Aliens?
That sounds like a history Sunday
goodness.
afternoon
Yeah, it does.
History Channel.
Oh
show.
my goodness! I can't believe you guys haven't watched that. There's a lot of people. I talk to people at work all the time about Ancient Aliens.
Is that where the aliens? Is that where the aliens meme dude comes from? He's like,
no, they're
aliens.
no, they're talking about. No, they're just talking about like, I don't know. You gotta watch it. It's called Ancient Aliens, and it's on the History Channel.
We knew it. They did another one too. They did something on mermaids too. So that's why I don't have any credence.
Oh, my daughter was doing mermaids are real. And I'm like,
yeah.
Stop. She's like, no, the first.
No, but there's like they bring up like good points. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that you could just like hella disacknowledge or whatever. But there's like certain things where like today there are people that like masonries that say, like in certain places on the earth, they're like, that's laser precision. You can't even use, how do you expect a guy with a stone axe a stone chisel to chisel this thing to laser precision that we could only do with this specific tool nowadays? You know what I mean?
Right.
I don't know. I'm not saying that there might be aliens, but there might our technology at one time as humans was really good, and we lost all that information. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's crazy.
Do you think there was a second shooter on the grassy knoll? Where are the Zapruder films? What are they doing? Who's the old Russian lady? Anyway, I don't know. I don't know. I don't like to get into it. I think that like there's probably an answer out there, but it's going to disappoint everybody. So the myths and the urban legends, those are all better than the like people want to believe in those because that's actual like better than the evidence that is out there, than the truth that's out there. It's like, nope. President Kennedy was assassinated. Nope.
I know that's evidence.
9/11 wasn't it? 9/11 wasn't an inside job.
People saying nowadays that structure couldn't be made only with laser equipment. They could make it that structurally sound. I mean that's evidence in itself.
I know, but that's easy
with
to say,
people today that say I can't build that. I've been in masonry for 60 freaking years, and I can't build that without using this specific tool to do it.
Maybe they're just way smarter than us.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That's what I'm saying. I'm
No,
saying
but hold on.
maybe back in the day we had technology and it was lost. Look at all the Egyptians. They found an
That's what I was
Egyptian
just gonna say.
battery
Think
that
about the
actually
pyramids.
holds charge.
Yeah.
Yeah, but think about the pyramids. Those things were built. I mean, could you imagine trying to build those by hand right now? No, you couldn't. We dig holes for a living, and dig an 11-foot hole is a pain in the butt for us, and we don't like doing. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
Right.
I don't know. Like, they got it done. People got it done. People had different. We live in a different age. Just sure, like they believed that it. Yeah, like they believed that it was. Yeah, they did have slaves to do it, but I don't know. They just like got it done. You know, they're gonna find if there's a will, there's a way, and they're gonna get it done.
Yeah.
Who knows?
I don't know. I could agree and disagree on that one too.
The Simpsons. Just watch The Simpsons. They predict everything. You'll figure it out.
That's true.
From there.
Yep, there's aliens. That's what they said.
There's aliens. All right. Well, hey, you know, I'm sorry. There's one thing we didn't talk about, and I really want to talk about it because it's something that we all love. Assassin's Creed just dropped the new trailer.
That
looks
awesome.
so good.
I know. I can't wait.
That was such a good trailer.
I don't know how. It's probably going to be like any other Assassin's Creed game.
It is. But like, man,
it's just going to get into the politics. That's what I liked about the Assassin's Creed games.
Yeah.
You get to know, like, they go back in history.
Yep.
And you get to kind of see the politics and how they happen. Yeah.
I don't know though. I don't know because
I can't wait.
I don't see us being a Viking character doing wall climbs and all this parkour.
Yeah, when you think
apparently,
Vikings, you think of,
huh? Right. What did you say, Steven?
Oh, when you think of Vikings, you think of like just walking in and tearing
just
stuff
kicking
up,
doors down and
yeah.
So I think there's going to be a different style of gameplay.
Maybe
even with the fighting that was on the trailer, it didn't seem Assassin's Creed like.
Honestly, if they did that, like they did God of War, where they just changed the whole game up,
it
might be very good for the.
I don't think they can change. Assassin's Creed is so set in its ways.
It's been.
How do you change
that? Hey, God of War was too.
No.
I played every one of those God of Wars.
Yeah, but God of War.
That's what I was expecting.
But what was the change? That's my thing. It's like the change from God of War like 3 to God of War 4. The reason it was so drastic is because it went from a very linear game where you go from point A to point B. There's and then they went into free roam. You know what I mean? Like the earlier God of Wars were puzzle games. They're like puzzle out of the dungeon and go fight the bad guy. Button mash to fight the bad guy. Those are the two things. In God of War 4, you were like, go collect these like collectibles. Go get, go do this skill tree for your axe.
Which was excellent for the game.
Yeah, but like Assassin's Creed is already there. Assassin's Creed has been there. So the only step back is it's backwards. You know what I mean? The only step, how do you revolutionize a game that's already open world, already collectible heavy, already skill tree heavy? How do you like revolutionise that? I don't think you can.
Change it.
Make it linear.
I don't know.
Make it linear, but like that would
be different.
Could you imagine if they went like,
it's a
linear.
platformer now.
Yeah, it's a platformer. Could you imagine what that would destroy they're not going to do that.
No, but I mean they could hit it from a different perspective. You know what I mean?
I think we're not game developers for a reason. I think they probably think it's something that we can't think of.
That's true.
I don't know, man. It just I get a different feel from it. I could be wrong, but I think it might have a different feel.
Yeah, I agree. Because when I was watching it, I was like, "This is awesome! I can't wait for God of War 5." Like that's what I was like. Give me God of War. That's what I like. I want to go back and play God of War 4 right now. But I don't know. That's exciting. I just bought Odyssey. Odyssey was on like this huge flash sale, and I need to finish that game. I need to just run through the story. Just get the story done. That's all I need to do. I'm not worried about all the extra stuff because it's a huge game.
Did anybody play the new Final Fantasy 7 yet? Does anybody want to play the new Final Fantasy 7?
No.
No?
I'm not a fan of it. I liked it when it was on PlayStation, but I kind of got... There's a lot of games. I'm kind of worn out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But the graphics are dope. They've always been dope.
I I've never been a Final Fantasy fan because I can't do the what's it called, like real time or the it's like the way it's like a Pokemon fight. I get so bored.
Oh,
I'm
they don't
just
do
like,
that in this one though.
oh, they don't?
No. That's one of the big bonus things. Yeah, I mean, I like the game anyway. I would have played it either, but it's like the turn-based style fighting you talking about?
Yeah. I'm just like, okay.
I
say that, but we played Dungeons and Dragons. That's exactly what it is.
Turn-based.
But it's different. It's different. Like when you're, I don't know. I guess if you're into the game,
I
it's
get
not
you. That was
different.
my biggest gripe with it originally too. I wish I could like fight these guys regular instead of waiting.
Yeah.
My turn.
Swing my sword around and smash this dude up.
But yeah, I heard that this one doesn't do that. I think it's regular, and like as your fight. I think it's kind of like, I guess Marvel Alliance. I guess something like that. Like how you got multiple characters with you, and then you can kind of change to a character.
Go to the different one.
Yeah, and as you're fighting, then like the computer takes over, and they continue fighting for that character you just switched from, and then now you're taking control of that person. I think
whatever happened to that Marvel game?
Oh, that you guys are so like in love with, and like.
Hey, you shut your mouth.
They're fixing all their bugs and quirks that they have.
Are they? Is it still set to release in September? I think that's when it's supposed to release. Marvel video game. We should start thinking about wrapping up.
Postponed because of COVID. The developing team is probably
on hiatus.
Yeah.
All the gaming industries right now is just taking advantage of it. Make their game a little bit better.
Yeah,
it's not their fault for the delay.
Yeah, right.
I mean, me as a company.
It's still set to come out September 4th.
Yeah.
2020. It looks good. Oh man, look at Thor go. All right, I'm done. All right. Well, I think it's time to wrap up. We've gone a little long, but yeah, Mick, I'm glad you watched Star Wars.
I did.
And I hope
sorry we ruined it for you.
Yeah, sorry we.
No, you didn't ruin it for me. It was just
your brain.
It was not a good movie. It wasn't. Yeah.
Yep.
I can enjoy some parts of it, but
unanimously agreed upon. Like it's visually pleasing, but it's not a good movie. So, alrighty. Well, we this episode comes out on May the 11th. Yep. Happy May the 11th. I hope you spent some fun time with your mom yesterday. I know with COVID it's hard, but call your mama. Tell her.
Love you, mama. Happy Mother's Day. Happy birthday, my baby. Hannah, I love you.
She's right in the other room. Let's go say hi to her.
Well, when she watches this, I'll probably be at work.
I got you.
And then she'll be all like, "Oh," and then she'll call me, and then be all like, "What? I love you too."
What? You did that for me.
I love it. The love story.
All right. So next episode is gonna be out on the 18th, and we'll see you guys then. So have a great week. And hit us up on the Facebook at the Geek Retreat. Hit us up on YouTube. Be sure to like and share. Right now, we are, I guess I can say it, we're working on some sponsorships. We're putting our feelers out. So hopefully in the future here, we'll get some little ads or something. Popeye's Chicken. We're working on a Popeye's Chicken sponsorship.
Yeah.
Nick is going to eat 15 Popeye's Chicken sandwiches per episode.
Yeah. Per episode.
I don't know about 15.
Give it like 4 of those
13.
bad boys.
No.
So, all right, cool. Well, we appreciate everything. We appreciate the support. Keep it going. Keep sharing and keep telling your friends about us. And we're gonna keep making some podcasts.
Yeah.
And one of these days, we've teased it a bunch of times. One of these days, we're gonna put out some D&D when we can get it all the bugs and all the kinks worked out.
Or we're gonna put a podcast out where we're all together finally.
Oh yeah, I can't wait. I can't wait for when we're all. Can you imagine when we're all in the same room?
I know, right? I think that's cool.
It's gonna blow. It's gonna revolutionize this channel.
Yeah, it is.
All right, I'm Steven, Jason, and Mick. Wherever they are, I'm just pointing wherever. So who cares? We will. We'll talk to you guys next week. Later.
Later, guys.
Later.